Hey folks, enjoy this series, a best of 5 matchup from the finals of the Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod Community Newcomer Tournament. This is from the live stream, so make sure you're following Maestro Cretella, my co-caster as well. There's lots of misplays being a newcomer tournament, but there's tons of good stuff, awesome action. The matches really highlight how players can adapt and change to the way they know each other are playing, and watch from game to game how they change their builds up. It's cool stuff.
Alright, here we go. Hopefully
it directly led to me buying into the Breach recently.
Yeah, and yeah, man, I love that game. I played through it all. It's just like FTL, man. I've bought it like several times now to either give it to people. I'm waiting for it to come out on iPad so I can play it over again.
Interestingly, I heard that the FTL developers did not like porting FTL to iPad, even though it feels very intuitive to me.
Yeah, I think they did such a great job of it.
Oh, Dashy's still a little bit slow to load in.
Slow, but I think better
this
than
time.
last time, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's certainly a little bit faster out of the gates here.
I mean, last time was a solid like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, here we go. Round 2.
Take it away.
Still game number 1. On the north side this time, we've got Raven as the Chaos Lord. We switched up here just enough to confuse me, and then Dashy on the south side as the Ultramarine brother captain rocking the Ordo Malleus. We've got Strike Squads and Chaos Space Marines coming in. We're on Ashes of Typhon, which is, of course, a great big spread out map. We've got like 3 lanes. We've got the Victory Point lane, then we have the Power and Requisition down the middle, and then where a lot of the fighting tends to happen is up north in this kind of sulfurous area up here with the contested VP. There's no green cover anywheres, which probably wouldn't really matter considering we've got these 2 heroes that would crush it all down anyways, so it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, I'm sure. No cover, no holding back, 2 big bads, throwing swords around, and yeah, here we go.
So we do have the second Heretic out of Raven, again, pretty common for Chaos, but we see Dashy taking his time with, so he's not getting, at this point, he's probably not getting a second IST with, at least if he's holding this Requisition. I wonder if it'll be another Strike Squad, go for the double banishment, as it's called, not actually smite.
Yeah, I mean, it is effectively just a copy-paste of the Smite ability. Does it actually do any less damage or anything like that, or is it actually just Smite? It seems like it's
I think it does a bit less.
Okay.
But I think it feels worse because you can get 2 of them, and you can get more than 2 actually, and you can get it in tier 1 on like a pretty standard squad. So it is going to be the double strike squad. This is honestly looking a little scary. I'm still not sure if this isn't like Bruce Campbell or someone, because I'm like foreseeing him right now getting those Tomes of Titan. I think they're Tomes of Titan, and just nuking some of those Heretic squads.
Yeah, I mean, the Heretic squads, he did go double Heretic, so the double Smite could be a big deal, but it also, I mean, it's not, I don't think, the best composition once you get those Smites out. So if you can bait the Smites out, survive the engagement, and maybe still have the superior army force. Yeah, you can see we've already got the Tomes coming in.
Not only that, I don't think it scales very well into like the really late game. Although you might disagree with me on that. Of course, they do get a little bit better in tier 2 once you get the Sergeant, which is kind of designed to make it scale. We're going to see those banishments go off. We'll go on the Chaos Space Marines. Hamada will be killed finally by the brother captain there with that last swing.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised as far as tournaments go we haven't had a restriction on banishment, but maybe it's not that big a deal. I feel like it is, but we'll see how it goes. Raptors are coming onto the field here shortly. Brother captain trying to hunt down these heretics, manages to peg one before the battle even really starts there. They're just falling back. One is already, oh, there goes the second. The strike squad's now starting to open fire as well. Chaos Lord moving in to engage, but the Raptors are here. They're looking for those strikes, I'm sure.
I think the Raptors are a very sensible purchase in this matchup. Kind of talked about it in the last match, where the Raptors make it easier, a lot easier for those Heretics to get in, who do a lot more of the raw damage. So it does leave Raven's composition a little bit inflexible come tier 2, because right now he doesn't have anything that can be easily upgraded to AV. So if we do see like a Rhino come out from Dashy, or possibly even that wonderful Dreadnought, Raven's going to have to get entirely new units just to deal with it. Meanwhile, Banishment does go out from the single strike squad, takes down the Heretics down to like 30% of their health. I feel like if they actually have the two strike squads together, I think they're just going to instantly wipe a non-AC tick squad.
Yeah, but I mean, unfortunately, we can't change the game as it is, so we just have to kind of take it for what's going on. Let's see. IST's moving on the far side over there. Third generator coming down for the Chaos Forces. Still just 2 for the Ordo Malleus.
So, ooh, going for some interceptors right after that. Pretty expensive tier 1. In this case, I feel it's feeling a little bit more likely that Raven does make it to tier 2 first with this kind of investment.
Yeah, I was kind of
from
expecting, like you said, for Dashi to maybe just grab those two books and head into tier 2, get out a quick Razorback or Laz Rhino. Anything like that would have been really impactful, but instead he's going, I guess he just wants something to more counter-initiate against the Raptor jump here. They are looking like they're looking for a fight right now. They're positioning well. The jump comes in, but here comes the 2 smites. There goes 1, there goes 2, and that's a dead squad. It's just very silly.
Yeah, so there it is. We did have Bruce Campbell calling for it, waiting for just the instant wipe by the double banishment.
Where's our Melteds in chat?
Yeah, I think it might have been necessary. Like, it's a lot of investment, but I feel like just with the way against the double strike squad, with the way they are now, I kind of felt like it might have been necessary to get the aspiring champions. Again, it would have been a lot of investment, a lot of resources just to keep the heretics alive. But I mean, of course, basically we're seeing what happens when, well, they're just not alive anymore.
All right, so 390. And dropping, despite getting that squad wipe. We're seeing Raven heading into tier 2 first and having a triple cap against the Grey Knights. Nice attempt at dodging the smite there with the worship perfectly spreading out. Oh,
I think
no,
this is a wipe on the heretics anyway.
Yeah, this might not go quite as well as he was planning. He didn't realize the positioning of the other army. Oh my gosh, are they going to escape? No, I don't think so.
No, it doesn't even need a teleport.
Yeah,
out of the
so
interceptors.
I believe the strike squad does have less range DPS than its Chaos or Tactical Marine counterparts, but I don't think they miss shots ever. So I don't know if that makes up for it. It seems like they have close to maximum accuracy even while firing on the move. So there are a lot of small things to consider, and when you just look at DPS in this game, there's things like firing rate, accuracy, all that kind of stuff, and it just feels like those strike squads are still so nasty at range.
So, looking pretty rough for Raven. Those strike squads coming in. If they look nasty in range, they're going to look even nastier now with some double banishment. Just kidding, that's not a strike squad there. All Grey Knight units kind of look alike to me. That's an interceptor.
Yep, interceptors with the swords and the silly looking antenna backpacks for their teleporting. They teleport in, they engage in melee, and now the brother captain's
remember when you could
see
interceptors through Fog of War?
Yeah. Alright. We Are the Hammer gets activated, making everything a little bit tankier and a little bit quicker. Raptors do have to fall back. It looks like Raven's just not able to keep up over here. The Blood Crusher's going to be out shortly. So this might be a short-lived victory because it doesn't seem like there's much out here that will contest that. Brother Captain already upgraded with his Nemesis Force Sword as well, so making him a little scary as well. Blood Crusher comes charging in from the side. Strike Squad's trying to get out from under that. They actually do manage to evade it completely, and the Chaos Lord is going to pay for it. A full retreat after the Brother Captain takes out the Chaos Lord, and now the triple cap has been entirely reversed. The map is very much in favor of Dashi, trying to close those victory points back out. It was almost even there for a brief moment, but things are looking rough for Raven. Let's see what Dashi decides to do. He is in tier 2. He is approaching the required power to get himself a Dreadnought onto the field. That seems to have been the Grey Knight weapon of choice in tier 2.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he's going to get. Yeah, it's almost definite that he's going to get it at this point. If he's holding that many resources, yeah, he's getting the Dreadnought. So Blood Crusher is out, which also forces another Heretic repurchase. I really want to see this Heretic squad get the aspiring champion. I'm not even sure if it's enough, but I feel like that's the only chance it has to just not get insta-nuked by the Strike Squad.
Yeah, you definitely need that aspiring champion because, like you said, everything else just gets obliterated. Although the aspiring champion, unlike the basic infantry, is heavy infantry, so it'll actually take more damage from the smite than the basic squad does.
Yeah, mostly just trying to count on the overall, just the sheer health, the big health pool of the aspiring champion to try to keep him alive. Raptors will lose one model.
Yeah, Blood Crusher's up here. It's pretty banged up, though. There is some power melee hanging around here, so it's going to have to be careful.
Yeah, Heretic's currently on capping duty, so this Blood Crusher not supported does use that fear effect ability to just, well, cause those units to go out in other directions. Might need to get out of here soon. Does have to respect the possibility that there could be some kind of anti-vehicle coming out from the base.
Gosh,
but one squad might go down. Okay.
Or sorry, that wasn't the interceptors, was it? That was one of the strikes.
That was one of the strike squad, which actually changes things up quite a bit. Suddenly the Heretics don't have to worry anywhere. Well, they might have to worry about, oh, it's a Melta Dreadnought, not a Plasma Cannon Dreadnought.
Okay, so sticking with the multi-Melta gives it a good anti-all ranged attack while still holding some sort of melee options. Plague Marines coming out here as well. So Plague Marines along with the Blood Crusher could probably be a pretty big threat to that Dreadnought. The Blood Crusher, with a little support, can actually take down Dreadnoughts fairly quickly if there's a snare involved.
Yeah, so I kind of like the combination here of the Plague Marines with the Blood Crusher. But there's still, certainly Raven still has to be careful with that Blood Crusher. Gonna need to support it with Worship last time. Last time, the Heretics were actually off on capping duty, which is why they weren't there to support. And we're gonna see a Librarian come out. Terminator Librarian, technically, out of Dashi. So, you thought he didn't have double smite, but now he's gonna get it back.
Along with some other options on top of that, the Terminator Librarian for the Ordo Malleus has a couple big AoE supportive abilities in addition to the standard smite.
Sanctuary probably being the big one there.
The enemy generator operational.
Gens come down, filling up the gen farm again, and now pushing forward with the Dreadnought, all of this infantry as well. Big, tough infantry nonetheless. Raptors going for the cap here, but they might want to be careful. A couple shots from that multi-melta. Oh my gosh, the aspiring champion goes down right away.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Of course, this is technically the Grey Knight Dreadnought, but it's effectively the same. It has literally the same DPS values as the Space Marine Dreadnought with the multi-melta. The only thing that makes me a little bit more questionable about it is that you gave up the Plasma Cannon Dreadnought to get this. I think the idea, though, is he wants to be able to threaten the Blood Crusher a little bit more reliably with it.
Yeah, he still doesn't have any hard anti-vehicle outside of that Dreadnought. He does have the Interceptor squads now with their anti-vehicle grenade. Smite comes in from the Terminator Librarian. And both sides seem kind of unsure if they want to commit to this fight.
Oh, but that Terminator Librarian taking some damage from those Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines who for some reason are going into melee range.
Yeah, Sanctuary goes down, and you can see as anything approaches that bubble, it will get knocked back. And, oh man, Raven's heading right for Tier 3. Got the Plague Marines as an answer to the Dreadnought and figures that's going to be enough. Malignant Blindness gets activated, which will allow that Chaos Lord to get the decap on the field. And that was enough to scare Dashi off. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, the Interceptors force off the back-capping Heretics, sending a few of those packing home without their heretical brethren.
It's actually a very interesting use of Malignant Blindness. That it's actually just very impressive to see it in this Newcomer tournament, where Malignant Blindness basically kind of used as like an engage, but then Dashi kind of knowing that's like, oh, I don't want this, and he just disengages entirely. But in the process, he literally gave up the contested victory point.
Yeah, he lost the VP, and it was just kind of an intimidation move, right? You fired the blindness, and he could have pushed forward there and maybe just been fine, but it's a little too spooky to like commit to a big fight when you can't see what your enemy has on the field. Tzeentch, Space Marines, Plague Marines, Raptors, we got the full gamut of Chaos Marine variants over here, and oh man, they still managed to get the decap. Smite comes down again. Librarian will survive, and but these Tzeentch Marines are just blasting away at all these heavy units hanging out on the victory points. Interceptors are decapping on the other side, 191 for Raven at the moment. We're gonna have to see if this tier 3 pays off for him. At this point, okay, yeah, he is going for a Predator. The Predator and the Plague Marines will make short work of the Dreadnought. At that point, I feel like he can send the Blood Crusher along with another infantry squad down the south lane to capture the 2 natural VPs. And should be able to lock down the map pretty well. Another Dreadnought coming out, so Grey Knights continuing to pump out the big stompy robots.
He's going to get the multi-melta again. And I think that's something...
All right.
I mean, I think that makes life really tough for the Blood Crusher.
It does, but I mean, what are they going to do to the tank? This Predator's coming out.
Yeah, they don't know about the tank.
The range advantage definitely goes to the Predator. And the Interceptors haven't really been sticking around with the army to do anything about that.
So, and let's take a look at that tank. No mark. I think at this point it pretty clearly needs to be a mark of Tzeentch.
Yeah, you're going to want the las cannon to really punish these Dreadnoughts.
Just 2,600 points of vehicle armor standing between Raven and taking back those victory points. And it's been certainly a lot more even than many of the other series I've seen today, but we're seeing Dashy coming out ahead of things. Both players are playing pretty cautiously, so we're not really seeing big losses on either side, but Dashy is doing a better job of controlling the map in the process.
All right, Predator moving a little far forward. Malignant Blindness goes down again. And this looks like, oh no, he's got to make sure he micros the Plague Marines correctly so he can keep that snare on the, oh my gosh, the Dreadnoughts are turning back around to re-engage. I don't think that's the right choice at all. One more shot from the Predator. That's going to be 1 Dreadnought down, even if he falls back at this point.
Still alive?
It was for a brief moment. It is not any longer. 1 Dreadnought goes down. And pulling back, even just pulling back at this point would call it a victory. But that said, he's down to double digits on his VPs. 75 and ticking down quickly. There's still not a lot of anti-vehicle over here, though. And this Predator, I feel like, can pretty much just run the field.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Predator can't capture the point, which is really what Raven needs at this point. And he's got to commit more of his forces here to make sure that he's able to force most of these squads off so that he can actually have a more decisive victory that leads him getting the victory point. But even just fighting this is stalling out some time. Meanwhile, the victory point is being back-capped over on the left side.
Yeah, the Chaos Lord just ran by the capping Interceptors. It looks like the Chaos Forces are going to win up here, but with 50 VPs and a potential triple cap here shortly, he might just run out of time before he's able to capitalize on this. They're ticking down so fast, he needs to cap right this instant.
He's actually getting Dashy's natural victory point, and I think there is enough time that he doesn't lose the game yet, but he obviously doesn't have a whole lot of...
Oh no, does he realize he made the Heretics come off the point because the Chaos Predator forced them off?
I think this one's done.
Okay, no, wait. 16, 14, he might have just enough time. He started decapping at 16. Five.
It's
four,
gonna be like, I think it's gonna go to 1.
2. 2 points left. VPs are changing hands. The Predator and the Blood Crusher are still tearing through the Grey Knight forces. The Grey Knights, I don't think they're going to be able to take the map back, though, honestly. A second Chaos Predator's coming out on the field. The decap is coming, but there's nothing over here to contest the Chaos Lord. The Interceptors are going to get forced off. However, this multi-melta Dreadnought is in range of the Predator. Oh, but the Plague Marines
going in for melee range or something. It's not.
Oh
shooting.
Wait, this is a third Dreadnought. This is a melee Dreadnought for some reason.
This is a melee Dreadnought. Oh no, the Brother Captain's gonna go down as well. Sink kill from the Blood Crusher.
And I think with this third Dreadnought going down, that's going to be the game. I can't imagine him coming back from this. Dashy's down to just a squad of ISTs and a strike squad. The Stormtroopers unable to do much about this, and with a second vehicle coming onto the field, or rather a third, there is still the Blood Crusher at level 3 now, yeah. Throws in the towel. The first match goes to Raven. Strike squads might be damned.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think what was the turning point that basically ended up deciding the game in Raven's favor was Dashy's decision to stay in Tier 2 and spam Dreadnoughts, which I think there was a little bit of hubris there, if I'm really honest. You know, and whereas Raven holding out for Tier 3, but I mean, once he gets the Predators out on the field, it's very clear just with the work that they did that he just had such a huge advantage. by going to tier 3. Definitely gave up a lot of victory points in the process, but he held on just barely.
Yeah, I mean he kept himself together. He got into tier 2. He got the Blood Crusher out quickly. There wasn't really an answer to it. And that said, I think that Dashi could have handled some of those engagements a little better. He did have the snare on the interceptors, but he never had it up there with the melted dreadnoughts. If he could have snared either the
I
Blood
don't remember
Crusher,
it even being impactful. I
no,
don't
if
even
he could
remember
have
seeing
snared
it.
either the Blood Crusher or the tanks and then moved those dreadnoughts up, I mean, he could have. I feel like he could have easily sniped those vehicles. All right, well here we go. Game
Only
number
thing I
2.
learned from I was gonna say, only thing I learned from Raven's profile is that he's got 2,000 hours of Mountain Blade Warband.
Oh man, I know a couple people that play that game that much. People have gotten really into that. It can be such a huge game. All right, and here we go. Game number 2 of our Newcomer Tournament Finals. Dashi on the right side as the Ultramarine Brother Captain. Once again, same matchup as before. Raven as the Chaos Lord, and we have the same opening build orders coming down. Heroes heading to the same northern side, grabbing the requisition and starting squads down on the power. So Civil Frontier, of course, this desert map with the treasure belt down the middle, all the contested points right down the middle, splitting the map in half, and natural power farms on either side right here. Going to be the contentious points in the opening of the game. We do have the second Heretic squad coming out for Raven. Hopefully he's a little more careful with those Heretic squads. If he spots the 2 strike squads in range, he's got to be ready to hit that retreat button right away.
Yeah, sometimes it seemed like early on, he actually, like Dashi, wasn't finding many opportunities to even use the double banishment. I think just, just early game, you're trying to control the map, you don't have many units yet, but when it finally did happen, it did pretty much exactly what was expected to happen. So, Dashi looking like he's going for another second strike squad.
Yeah, you can see the Chaos Marines up north kind of dodging in and out of that garrison to stay out of melee combat with the Brother Captain. Both heroes kind of muscling around the opponent's infantry, which you can definitely do with these big tanky melee heroes. Both of them, let's see. Oh yeah, the Brother Captain's only at 950. He's not at 1,000 anymore. But I was about to say, both heroes near 4 digits of health.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see those Heretics kind of pull the Brother Captain a little bit more in the direction of the Chaos Space Marines, since I feel they were kind of drawing the Brother Captain away from the Chaos Space Marine fire. Heretics going to be forced off. CSM, meanwhile, in melee with the Brother Captain. They're not going to want that for too long, so the Chaos Lord's going to get involved as well, and we've got a little bit more of the Chaos Lord, not the Lord, versus the Brother Captain here.
So Chaos Space Marines running indoors yet again to dodge any more melee scuffles. Imperial Stormtroopers managing to at least scare off the Heretics. They took them down to about half health. A couple bursts from those long-range las guns can actually mess up light infantry pretty quickly. And after all that, everything's said and done, now people are finally moving around, capping the map. No victory points are capped as of yet, but the center one is going to Raven as we speak.
Double strike squad immediately upgrading to Tomes of Titan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna play it, you may as well use what you got. Chaos Space Marines taking both smites, not losing a model. They should probably just hit that retreat button before they take any losses. 2 gens down for the Chaos player, just 1 for Dashi.
We shall triumph.
So they're approaching some Heretics, at least for now. Raven knows that banishment is on cooldown, but for how long? You can't keep them around them. Can't keep them around there for too long when you see the double strike like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it speaks well of Raven that he's managing to evade and play well around this exploitative style play with the double smite. He's keeping his head about him. He's reacting well. He's still holding the map where he can. And he's just disengaging when the 2 strikes show themselves. He's not spending a lot of power either as of yet. It looks like he might just want to rush into tier 2. He spotted the 2 strike squads, So he knows that his opponent can't drop the power quite as quickly. The third gen just now getting online for Dashy.
So yeah, the economy's looking a little bit better for Raven. He's got the more requisition income. And he's also just running so light on his build, like not bothering. He doesn't even get a single aspiring champion, not even bothering with that. He's gonna need to retreat out of there before they eat a banishment. Okay, doesn't retreat, just wow. I actually feel like Raven has such big balls. Oh my god, but
yeah,
maybe a little too big.
Yeah, I think one of them is about to get knocked off here. Let's see. Oh, 12 HP. They're gonna be fine, all according to plan. Takes the smites, gets out of there. That still isn't. It's not cheap to reinforce a heretic squad from one model. You have to keep that in mind. The Chaos Lord getting perilously low here. Kill the weak whiffs, and he needs to get out of there.
He's gonna go down.
Yeah, I think he waited a bit too long. Wanted it a bit too badly, but his losses weren't too bad otherwise, so he's able to pretty much buy him.
Yeah, it's actually
right
crazy. He immediately bought back, and he has like roughly the same amount of resources that Dashy has. So.
Well, Dashy bought the more expensive squads. He got a couple upgrades. He's now replaced one of his gens. We might lose the second one here. Yeah, the second smite should be able to rout these guys. Yeah, they have to fall back.
Well, Chaos Space Marines, oh, they're going to get knocked over into the, I don't know, bench or railing or whatever that is. They'll actually just get back into it. I don't think they even lost a model there. Pretty lucky.
Yeah, very fortunate considering how low on health they are. But they have to be careful. That garrison is notoriously low on health. I kind of wish some of the other garrisons were actually that low, so it was a bit more of a risk to get in here. I actually like this map for that reason, because most of the garrisons actually only have between 200 and 500 health.
So that one is at 148 now. The garrisons actually all around on this map don't actually have a huge amount of health. The other ones have 450, but there are other maps. Actually, the civilian structure at the very top has 2,500.
Yeah, that one and the one to the left that aren't damaged.
Oh god! There goes the double banishment.
But both players heading into tier 2 now, so the banishment power is might be falling off here shortly. That said, keep in mind one of the strike squads did die last game, so the double smite wasn't really as much of an issue.
So, and the thing is, it actually becomes stronger when you get a Justicar. Dashy's already upgrading to get at least one Justicar, but the Blood Crusher's going to be coming out from Raven.
So what do we have back here? We have a Purgation squad coming out. The Blood Crusher's en route. And this time we don't even have the Interceptors. Both players went lighter tier 1s. Dashy, I think, recognizing he got caught out by the fast tier 2 last game, so wanted to make sure he got there on time this one. But the Purgation squad, I don't think... I don't know. I mean, the conversion cannon can be useful.
So, oh, Chaos Lord might go down. Oh no, Chaos Lord going down again, though, hurts.
Oh man, and Raven
These Chaos Space Marines.
A little more sloppy this time around.
Alright, Chaos Space Marines they'll survive as a squad. But they lose a model there. It's going to be the Silencers rather than the Conversion Beamer.
Okay, interesting. I don't think that's going to be enough hard AV to deal with this Crusher, though.
Yeah, certainly, definitely easier to play around than the Conversion Beamer. But I think the Blood Crusher, just based on the visual effect that I'm seeing, I think he already used his charge here, so he's kind of got fewer tools here. He'll just need to back up away once he finds himself inside the firing arc of that Silencer Purgation squad.
So Heretics getting shot down here by IST.
Banishments. Alright, I think it might have actually been on cooldown. I feel like it was used recently. See those ISTs retreating as well, but that puts this Heretic squad in a pretty bad position. At this point, I think they're just trying to look for a retreat path.
Yeah, they're trying to look for the best way out of here. And, oh man, with the Silencer actually pointing at them, it opens up an opportunity for the Blood Crusher to get in here on the flank. The Heretics are just going to tank it, staying on the field so they can support the Blood Crusher Demon.
Well, that's actually pretty good discipline out of Raven. I think a lot of players would have retreated that Heretic squad at some point, keeps them out on there, actually manages to force the Purgation off the field, And now the Blood Crusher can engage the Strike Squad at a time when, right now,
Yeah,
there's nothing really countering that Blood Crusher.
It's like a double-edged sword sometimes for newer players. They have that sort of blind confidence oftentimes going into engagements, which, you know, can either lead them to lose things faster or just win engagements that experienced players wouldn't consider to stick around for. Oh, Smite doesn't quite connect, but the Heretics might be low enough. One swing of the halberd here could be all it takes. Wow.
Aspiring Champion is upgraded.
There we
Finally,
go.
we see an Aspiring Champion out of Raven.
The champion comes up, saves the squad. Dashy's getting his Dreadnought. There's Bloodletters out here as well. So these Heretics, if we start seeing some Corn Worship, that's going to start being really impactful.
Chaos Lord getting shot to pieces there by those silencers. Oh my god, he's going down again. This is, I think, the third time.
Yeah, that's 3 Chaos Lord kills. It's going to start really stacking up here for Raven. That said, he's been holding the map pretty well, or at least denying the requisition points largely. The Blood Crushers get the kill on the Purgation squad, though. A slightly delayed retreat sometimes is all it takes against that powerful melee squad. They can do damage so quickly.
So Bloodletter's obviously getting some value there, taking out that Purgation. Blood Crusher needs to be a little bit careful. I mean, I guess, you know, the Purgation was wiped. So he knows, and it wasn't even a conversion beamer anyway, so he knows he's not going to get snared, at least by what he sees so far.
Yeah,
he sees the Dreadnought now as well.
And VP is still pretty high, 433 to 344. Raven a little down, but I'm starting to be in a better position at this stage of the game. The Double Strike Squad's not really doing too much at this point now that there are some dedicated melee forces on the field. And with the AC ticks coming in, things are going to be getting a little worse for them.
Yeah, and that Smite is also not going to be hugely effective against the Bloodletters. Like, I saw him use it before, but they're regular infantry armor, but they've got a pretty big health pool, so Smite is not going to be nearly as effective against them.
Right, so the Strike Squads are both almost level 3, though, so now that they're upgraded with their Justicars and everything, they are going to be still a pretty nasty squad to deal with if they don't get tied up. Stormtroopers now heading down to the south side of the map. And what is this, the Purgation squad getting revault, I think?
Yep, another Purgation. Yeah, I think he just, well, especially right now, he doesn't even have an upgrade on the Grey Knight Dreadnought. No Plasma, no Melta. So I think he still wants Purgation as kind of just his primary answer to the Blood Crusher, at least in terms of, you know, doing some damage to it at range.
Alright, so the silencers are upgraded. They're getting ready to open fire over on this side of the map. Forces off all of the melee forces of the Chaos. And the Blood Crusher hacking away, trying to get through the Terminator armor of that brother captain up here. Still no upgrade on the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought is still on its default flamer, that incinerator over there. And I think the Blood Crusher is not going to quite be able to get it.
He's trying to see if he can get it. I don't think he gets it.
No, he still needs 2 or 3 more hits. The brother captain still has almost 100 health. Oh no, there goes Heretic Squad disappears under the Smite. And now the Blood Crusher in a bit of a tricky spot. It should be fine, so long as it does get out of the arc. Oh, but it's running right along the edge of the arc. Okay, there it goes. It finally gets out.
You are losing us a victory point.
We have Plague Marines on the field now, and Raven just having a nice, big, diverse Chaos force here. He's got Demons, he's got Plague Marines, he's got Chaos Space Marines. He did lose one of the Heretics, but the Blood Crusher's still out here. A little Worship will fix that thing right up. It does count as a Demon, so it will get a little warp support there from Khorne if they so choose.
This has kind of felt like a rough game to me for Raven. Like, it's not like he's super far behind, but to me it feels like he's ever just so slightly behind, and he's spending most of the game just trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of catch-up this game. He's been a lot sloppier. He hasn't gotten the Strike Squad kill like last game. He's leaving a lot to these Smites since he didn't manage to take out one of those Strike Squads early on. One thing I really want to see from Raven with his current army composition... Oh, dear. What I was going to say, anyways, was with the current army composition, I wish I would see more Worship coming in. Because both the Bloodletters and the Blood Crusher would be getting some huge advantage from that. Some sustainability against this kind of now beefy, blobby Space Marine army over here. Brother Captain now with the Force Halberd and the Aegis as well.
And losing the Bloodletters there really just hurts a lot. I mean, it's kind of like his primary answer to the Purgation. Now he's a lot more at the mercy of the Purgation. He's going... Oh, he started Tier 3, then canceled it. So now he's going to count on a Dreadnought. So map is very much in favor of Dashy at the moment, and he's starting to... Dashy, I'm tempted to say he's starting to run away with this. I mean, we're getting to a point where he might almost have a 200-point victory point lead. He's actually about to get a triple cap, so actually it's very soon to be even more than that. We're going to see a Khorne Dreadnought out of Raven.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I think in combination with the Blood Crusher, that's actually going to be really difficult over here, considering the Grey Knight Dreadnought has no melee option.
It's certainly going to make the Brother Captain's life hard as well. Wow, this Blood Crusher really brazen, gonna jump in there, rather, you know, charge in there. Does tie up the Purgation, and the Grey Knight Dreadnought is gonna be hitting some plasma cannon shots on the Blood Crusher, however.
Now, yeah, I think, yeah, there we go. The Blood Crusher's still microing around, trying to dodge those plasma shots. Oh my gosh, the Plasma Dread actually fired downhill a little bit there, so it's still connected. I don't think that was any sort of fancy attack ground micro right there. Oh my gosh, the Blood Crusher might go down.
Trying to finish the Blood Crusher. Oh,
where are the heretics? Where's the worship?
Where are the heretics?
They're up north capturing the VP.
Duty. You know what? I almost feel like Banishment in base might have been able to finish off that Blood Crusher.
It's possible. He's not paying attention to his Plague Marines, though. They're about to die over here to this Dreadnought. 2 models went down. Yeah, the last one finally does retreat. And the Hugbot over here with its great big demon head. I love this skin for the Dreadnought. Another big plasma hit. Those heretics just can't go anywhere. There's plasma devastators, there's smites, there's grenades. It's a rough day for heretics on the Chaos Forces over here.
Yeah, if that plasma cannon doesn't hurt you, then I'm just gonna follow it up with technically the Hurricane Bolter as I hover over the tooltip.
All right, so man, oh no, come on, don't drop the lag. Don't give us the lag. So we got a second Purgation squad out here with a Conversion Beamer, and it looks like this Khorne Dread's gonna go down with only 90 VPs remaining. I'm not sure that Raven has a chance to bring this back around. The Dreadnought's very low. It is about 40% health, but the VPs are just not in a good position right here. He drops the GG, and it looks like Dashy brought it back around this time.
I don't know about bro. The thing is, I felt he was kind of in command for most of the game, if not the entire game. I feel like a lot of that early game is Raven trying to play very carefully to try to not get his heretics like insta-nuked, while trying to not spend the resources on getting aspiring champion heretics. But I feel like he was playing so carefully in sometimes, and while he definitely was winning engagements early on, he was having trouble converting it into map control with how carefully he was moving around like his heretics.
Yeah, I almost kind of wanted to see the heretics used for worship support and maybe the Chaos Lord. I guess the Chaos Lord was down so often. That was, I think, the thing that slowed him down, is that the Chaos Lord was down so much. If the Chaos Lord wasn't down, I think the Chaos Lord could have been the one running around, capping the map, allowing the heretics to support the Blood Crusher and Letters. Well, enough talk about video games that aren't Dawn of War, because we're in game number 3 of this best of 5. Dashy on the south side of Fens of Dunlock as the Brother Captain. Raven this time switching it up a little bit. Still Chaos, but a little bit stinkier. We got the Plague Champion over here.
This is new. To me, at least.
So, him playing Plague Champion or the map?
The Plague Champion. Technically both, I suppose, but Plague Champion. Yell. Be interesting to see how that works. Plague Champion is actually one of the few times when double Chaos Space Marines actually makes a little bit more sense. Actually saw in Elite League there was someone, it was something like a Dark Hero versus Best Noob. One of them actually did double Chaos Space Marines. But we're not going to see that from Raven. We'll instead just see the more traditional 2 Heretics and 1 CSM. So traditionally, the Plague Champion, though, struggles a little bit on map control because he is himself quite slow. You need Worship to really get the value out of the Plague Champion, and I'm a little concerned for Raven. He was already kind of on the back end of map control with the Chaos Lord last game, so I'm just worried that might not bode well for him this game.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see how that goes. It will give him a little more range firepower to help deal with the Brocat. But we're just going to have to see how this goes. Dashi, I'm assuming, is getting that second strike squad again. We haven't seen any other purchases over here. Yep, there we go.
There it is.
And he's just going to ride that Smite bread and butter for as long as he can.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll start seeing more of the aspiring champion heretics early on. Raven has really been just resistant to doing that. And I mean, it's the thing is, it's so much power to do that early on in tier 1. But I think we even had Bruce Campbell in chat saying that he felt like it was kind of necessary.
Yeah, I mean, the threat of just losing a squad in the blink of an eye, like, even if your micro's quick, I mean, we would see him retreat, but you pretty much need to retreat before the smites even go off if you don't want to lose the squads, because the strike squads still have quite reasonable range damage, so even if the models are surviving by a few models after the smites, you're gonna bleed so much even on the retreat because those models only have, you know, a few HP left apiece.
Yeah, I think the way Raven has kind of been trying to play it in the previous games, he's trying to keep an eye on the strike squads. If he sees them bunched up, the 2 of them together, then he's trying to just not have the heretics anywhere near them. And it has been working for him a lot of the time. The only problem is, you know, eventually he's not going to be perfect, and they are going to get caught, and we've seen some times when he's just straight up lost squads to it. And this squad just barely managed to retreat in time.
Alright, so, nice decap on the natural power after that engagement. Strike squad hiding inside the garrison from the heretics.
So this garrison having a nice fat 1,500 hit points, so not going to be destroying that one anytime soon. Not a whole lot in terms of garrison counters at the moment either for Raven. Inquisitorial Stormtrooper is going to be kiting away. Unfortunately for them, Raptors are going to jump in near them. Doesn't even get the suppression, but just seeing those Raptors, they kind of recognize that they'll just need to get out of there.
Yeah, time to roll out, I think. There's not really anything they can do about that. And this time, I guess, Raven not keeping it quite as small tier 1.
So Raven bringing out the Raptors. Is this... I forget. Did we see Raptors? Yeah, I think we saw Raptors in game 1.
Correct. Oh man, big smites come in, but it doesn't matter because the Raptors and Plague Marine are there to support the Chaos Space Marines. VPs remain neutral for the time being.
Adding support structure.
Yeah, so I like the ideas of the Raptors in this matchup, and I think historically they have been pretty good. Gonna move forward, look for these Inquisitorial Stormtroopers. Gonna just try to kite back, but while the Raptors are zoning out the Stormtroopers, the Plague Champion will get a decap on the natural victory point from Dashi.
Yeah, the VPs have been changing hands a lot, so the victory points have been staying largely neutral, just slowly trickling down. Maps been getting a lot of back and forth. Plague Marine up here, about to take a lot of fire. Is he going to go for the cap? No, he decides against it, drops his quick little heal there, and falls back.
Oh man, you getting the blessing of Nurgle as well?
Yeah, sounds like it.
All right, looks like Raven might be looking for some kind of re-engage here. Moving, he's grouped up his army. Oh, he's gonna put the worship. I don't know if the worship there is gonna be that great. That's probably not a position where he's gonna be able to fight much. He's just barely got the Chaos Space Marines. Actually, I think they moved out the worship. Smite goes in, or rather Banishment does take down a Chaos Space Marine model. Inquisitorial Stormtroopers retreat, but they get the victory point and they don't lose a model, at least not yet. Plague Champion damage over time on retreat. Plague Champion unfortunately caught out in the open right there against those double strike squads, so he's going to get out Gonna have to get out of there. I guess he didn't have a Breath of Nurgle cast ready.
Yeah, and even so, it's a relatively small heal for just a single unit. So against the 2 strike squads, their range damage isn't insignificant, so you do have to keep that in mind. Brother Captain fleeing from heretics down the side of the map here, and it looks like maybe these central requisition points might be changing hands. Although these raptors are going to find themselves under some crossfire between quite a few range squads, and those smites are probably approaching cooldown as well.
All right, tier 2 for both players. Raptors, that's an interesting jump. I don't know if that was... They missed. At first I thought that was maybe just jumping to escape, but now they will engage. The Raptors engaging without any support here. They are proccing a lot of special attacks though, so that's keeping things in their favor. Unfortunately, special attack will be procced against them, and now the Raptors lose 1 model. Will it be 2? Yes, indeed, it will be. Chaos Space Marines, I don't know if they can stay here, but here's the support from the Plague Champion and the Heretics. Heretics, though, of course, have to worry about getting double banished.
Well, they just used 1, so there's 1 on cooldown. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to be quite as scared of it.
Oh, I guess I wasn't doing a good enough job of keeping track of those cooldowns myself. Oh no, Heretics get wiped anyway.
Oh no.
There comes another banish. This could be the second Heretic squad wiped.
Oh dear. Get out of there.
No.
They might still go down. Those bolters don't miss.
2, that's it.
Oh dear, Raven looking pretty rough.
So looking pretty rough for Raven at the moment. Started a Blood Crusher, then canceled it.
Now, why wouldn't he want the Blood Crusher in this situation?
Unfortunately, he's in a tough situation where it's like there's not a clear, easy answer. I think at this point, if he's gonna get a Blood Crusher, that means he needs to replace a Heretic squad as well. He doesn't have too many resources. He will have enough to replace the Heretic squad, but it's pretty rough. And again, that Heretic squad's gonna come out there. He just lost 2. He still hasn't been getting aspiring champions. So I don't know. It's pretty rough. So not out of this yet. Dreadnought, of course, coming forward. Dashy. Any upgrades on that one? Currently just going to stick with the Incinerator.
Yeah, the Blood Crusher's out now. So we've got the Demon Dog on the field with that Bloodletter Rider.
Ooh, I think... Oh, he just got an upgrade somewhere. He's actually... Yeah, he's upgrading his squads when he needs a Heretic squad to support this Blood Crusher.
Oh yeah, we do have aspiring champions. We've got Siege coming down as well. Or sorry, Eternal War rather. Yeah, I'd like to see a Heretic back on the field, but at the same time, I understand the hesitation. When you have these 2 smites out here, it feels like maybe you just want to make your current squad stronger. The smites went down. That was an instant retreat, though. Plague Champ also with a sword now.
It's just that in the long run, so he's going to start that Heretic squad. In the long run, the Heretic it's inevitable. Because the Blood Crusher actually managed to take no damage there in that engagement. He won it that decisively, but eventually the Blood Crusher will take damage. He's going to need the Heretics eventually. It's just a matter of time.
Agreed.
And especially right now he's got 1. He's probably just going to stick with the 1. I honestly want to just see an aspiring champion on it. I'm even wondering how the aspiring champion Heretic squad can withstand the double banishment when we now have the upgraded strike squad with the Justicars, but we know the Heretic squad without the aspiring champion is not going to work. It will get duped.
Now, if he has it for worship support, when the Heretics are spread out for their worship, they actually won't take too much from the smite.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, gonna be a 1 engagement for Dashy, who's going for the double Dreadnought yet again. So, 1 has a multi-melta, both of them having the multi-melta, and this is, I think the idea behind this really is just to make the Blood Crusher's life hard, because before the Blood Crusher even gets into melee to do anything, 2 melta shots come out, and that literally takes it down to half health.
Alright, so the Raptors retreat. It looks like they will only lose the 1 model. But now these dreadnoughts just stomping around. Double strike squads, double dreadnoughts, 2 pair. And it's a heck of a thing to try to engage. Raven has a nice varied army, but he doesn't have anything brute force enough to kind of counter this. Just it's just a tank. There's 2 dreadnoughts, 2 strike squads, tons of range damage, a lot of focus fire from those meltas as well. So you've got the AoE, you've got the single target high damage output as well. He might just have to disengage this for a little while he builds up a little more forces. He is going into tier 3.
I mean, as I'm seeing this, basically I'm thinking back to game 1, which was the way he handled this was he gave up ground for a while. He eventually did go to tier 3, brought out the Predators, and that actually was what handed the game in his favor. Unfortunately, losing the Plague Champion there.
Yeah, the problem is this time around is that he's going into tier 3 while about to lose his power find. And that's always a bad time.
And just losing his Plague Champion, which... I mean, especially, you know, if you're going for that Predator, having to... Either now he's just not going to have his Plague Champion, or if he buys back the Plague Champion, it's going to just make it take even longer before he does finally get to that Predator. Yeah, power's going down pretty easily. Would go down even faster if Dashi, you know, retargets the Dreadnoughts. Dashi's also going to tier 3 himself. Now, part of what also, you know, won game 1 for Raven was that he made it to tier 3, and Dashi had stayed in tier 2, spamming dreads. He went all the way up to a 3rd dread, whereas now Dashi going to tier 3. It's not looking as good for Raven this time around. He's got time to work with, at least in the sense that he's certainly got victory points to play around with.
The good thing is, though, that if he goes tier 3 and goes for his kind of Predator spam from then on, the primary threat in tier 3 from Grey Knights is Terminators, and Predators will counter both the Terminators and the Dreadnoughts quite well.
So pretty passive play at the moment.
The enemy is claiming a victory point.
Certainly things still, in my opinion, looking pretty tough for Raven, because again, he doesn't have that much power. So even when if and when the Predator comes down, like right now we're assuming that's what he's going to do, and we don't know that for sure. But even when it does, it's going to be a while, I think, before he would even be able to upgrade to a las cannon. And without that las cannon, it's going to be just not nearly as effective against these Dreadnoughts. So, still worried. Right now, the game has actually been pretty uneventful. It's been pretty undramatic.
Yeah,
lately.
there's nothing, no huge plays really. Just you know, it almost looks like a campaign map. You just have the Grey Knights like patrolling back and forth right now, right? All right, so Predator has been purchased, but he only has the 1 power node at this point. Even getting a decap over here, the ISTs should get forced off.
Cool. Raptor model's also getting gibbed by those multi-melta Dreadnoughts. Lucky for him to not take
it's kind of how Raven has to play right now, though. He can't directly engage this, so he's just running around on the map, stalling out, buying time, the usual stuff, trying to disrupt where he can. But wherever this pair of Dreadnoughts and Strike Squads go, Raven has to not be. Oh no, and here comes the call-in.
Oh,
the Paladins are here.
Yeah, this is rough.
This is a different kind of lay on hands than I'm used to.
Yeah, you know what? I honestly think at this point that this is probably just too much for Raven to deal with. Because part of what the Paladins can do, even if the Predator is faster and can drive away, that just kind of zones the Predator out. And when that's happening, it's not going to be getting a whole lot of value against the Grey Knight Dreadnoughts, which is really its primary targets.
Yeah, and now it has, like, 1 Predator has to deal with 2 Dreadnoughts and a squad of Paladins now. And, losing the hero at that crucial moment, losing the gen farm, I think it's just a bit too much. He does have the Marcus Cinch upgraded over here, so maybe he can snipe one of these dreads before things go too terribly. But the range damage is real. I mean, the Raptors are already so weak, and even, oh my gosh, the blood pressure gets obliterated. You can't discount the damage those meltas do.
The one saving grace is that the Paladins were not here for most of the engagement, but they'll come in time to just kind of make the Predator have to play with a little bit more respect so it can't pursue that one Dreadnought that's already pretty low on hit points.
He's looking for the shots, but he can't quite get it. There is a shot blocker there. Stormtroopers on the far side scuffling with some Chaos Space Marines. The Predator slowly just testing the waters. It's moving forward, kiting back, all that kind of stuff over there. Smite goes down on Heretics, which did get a decap at least on the point, buying a little more time, but falling now under 200 victory points. Things are looking quite rough for Raven.
Chaos Space Marines, meanwhile, going to be caught in retreat. Oh, they let those entirely get wiped. Oh my god. All right, I think we're kind of at the go next point.
Yeah, I guess Raven's gonna see what he can do with this Predator. But with the VPs ticking down quickly, I don't think there's a way to get back into this. I don't see a way out unless Dashi makes some really big flubs here. Oh my gosh, that double smite, oh my god.
The Raptor's gone. Yeah,
Yep.
That's it for this one. So, gonna be 2-1 in favor of Dashi, and that does mean he is one match away from being declared the victor of the Newcomer tournament. Of course, they're I think we did have another streamer as well. I think it was Overtly Generous, who also goes by Paige. I think he was streaming a little bit earlier on.
Oh, very cool. Well, yeah, and if you join the Elite Mod community Discord, there is a channel that has alerts for whenever streams for Dawn of War 2 go live. So if you're looking for more streams to watch, looking for other people to check out, and more content, that's where you should be headed over to dawnofwar.info and the Elite Mod community Discord, which I do believe I have a link down below on the channel description now.
All
Okay,
right, so
here we
Dashi
are.
does make it in. All right, we're
Our
up to the last
favorite
game
map.
here.
Caldera's Refinery, the one that has the big knockdown drag out fights. Let's see if this is one of them. Raven over here with the Chaos Lord on the red side against Dashi, who is on match point right here. This could be the final win he needs to take the tournament championship as the brother captain. We've seen this matchup a couple times already, and we know both players are capable of winning this. In this matchup, they're 1-1. The Plague champions seem to fall a little easier to Dashi's brother captain style. The double strike squads being the bread and butter here. And it looks like that's what we're going to see again. Dashi's been winning with it. I don't know any reason he would change it up. Raven does have the double Chaos Heretics this time around. And we'll see if his tier 1 changes up. He's both won and lost with the Raptors now. This map is a little harder to close out early, but it hasn't really been victory point wins so much as just like an army victory, whereas it got to the point that Raven just wasn't able to contest the Grey Knights and their Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, where is that double strike squad? Is it coming in? Oh, he's not quite up to the requisition for it just yet.
Yeah, I mean,
I expect we'll just see it.
It isn't cheap.
These
And
players
I think
just not
Raven
wavering from their
knows
build.
what's up, so he's going to go try to decap the natural power here. He knows Dashi's going for that double strike squad, so he knows the power is going to be exposed. He sent the Chaos Lord right up here, and I think that's a really good play. If you are suspicious, you only see one IST, one squad of stormtroopers, then maybe you just go check out their natural power. If that node isn't up, that lets you both know that they're probably going for another strike squad and allows you to get the decap over here. These heretics, though, what are they doing? They're just running forward. I'm not sure if he's paying attention. That's going to be an early squad loss for Raven, and that's not how you want to start off this potentially final match over here. He does get the decap on the power. He might even
I think he's going to get the full
node up.
cap.
And oh, look at this. It's change up indeed. Raven's going for some noise marines.
I actually think it might be worth his while to node this power point.
Yeah, there's nothing out here that really kills power that quickly, although with the whole army being over here...
he does it.
With the whole army over here, it probably will go down a little bit more quickly. Stormtroopers getting knocked away. Oh, big knockback on the Chaos Space Marines. That's probably going to cost them Model A too. So far, none have fallen. Oh my gosh, don't tell me. They get out with all 3 models. Very fortunate for Raven considering he lost that early squad.
So there are definitely some things about this that look good for Raven. Lost the Heretics, but noting that PowerPoint is going to buy quite a lot of time. That's a lot of time of Dashy having literally no power at all. Like, his only power is coming from his headquarters.
Yeah, not only does he have no power, but he's spending all that time whacking that power with halberds instead of capping the map back. The VPs have been largely even right here, but the Noise Marines are on the field already. We do have the Stormtroopers out here. And he's had so little power that he hasn't even been able to upgrade his smites on his squads. And it looks like he's not paying attention. He might actually accidentally be getting a 3rd strike squad here. Let's see if he cancels it in time. Because if he gets
I'm
that...
not sure if it's unintentional.
Well, if he gets that, he's never going to have the power to actually upgrade them all.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange one. And he doesn't look like he's going to cancel it. I mean, I guess part of his idea might have been that, like, I'm trying to give, like, some argument to the triple strike squad not being a meme, but I feel like part of it's just he wants to put out another unit, recognizes that with the way his power income has been disrupted, he kind of wants to get a unit that he doesn't actually have to spend power on, at least not out of the gate. So we might actually be seeing the strike squads running around without banishment and actually just kind of playing this just straight up, just trying to do range damage.
Yeah, I mean, the strike squad is such a potent squad, and I feel in case Chaos and Space Marine mirrors, and that they'll pretty much go toe-to-toe in ranged warfare, but they'll also just usually win melee fights as well. So they can be a tricky squad to engage. Right now, Raven, let's see, he's got to be close. Yeah, he's almost ready to just go tier 2 right now. Banishment's coming down, but is it going to matter if Raven hits that fast tier 2 and gets the blood crusher out?
He's got all 3. Oh my god. He actually is doing it. Okay. Only put down a single power generator. I mean, at this point, with the triple strikes, especially if he brings the brother captain along, I think in a lot of cases he could just kind of bully Raven in a fight, like just kind of overrun him, muscle him around. I don't know why we're getting so descriptive on this, but for now, those strike squad going to be focusing on the generators. Not too bad generator bashing speed. You have 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, the strike squads just do such good range damage.
I think this is going to be the whole farm. Raven is not answering this at all.
No, he's
so hopefully for him.
Heading into tier 2. He's still, oh man, he doesn't have any other additional, he doesn't have the contested power either, so this will actually delay the blood crusher just enough, I think. He's only at 40 power right now.
Yeah, so suddenly he has no power. He's trying to trade it out by just running the Noise Marines over, but he kind of just makes a straight path through the middle. They're intercepted by the brother captain. He's going to try to help him out with the Chaos Space Marines, but, you know, as long as the brother captain is trying to engage the Noise Marines in melee, they're not going to get a whole lot done there on the power generators. I think it's a little bit of a misplay. I think he needs to be a little bit sneakier.
Yeah, the brother captain can just shut it down. He can be knocked back and disrupted by the cacophony. Strike squad got the gen farm, spreading out a little bit, and Raven going from what we thought was a really solid position to
this is actually crazy.
Slow enough.
It's suddenly looking pretty bad for Raven.
Yeah, if he could have either stalled the strike squads a little bit, like honestly, he just needed another 30 seconds and he would have been able to get the blood pressure out right away. As it stands now, he's going to be waiting almost another minute to get the final few power he needs to get the blood pressure onto the field. And by that point, we can see that Dashy's gone ahead, popped his generators down, and isn't far from tier 2 himself.
Blood pressure. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was waiting. You know, as soon as he hit that 60 power, he was clicking that button really hard.
Yeah, I'm still just so worried for him. It's actually, yeah, that was the decision to not intercept the strike squad may be Raven's undoing. He definitely had the intention of trying to trade it out. with the noise marines, but he ended up failing in that attempt.
And
He might have been better off just trying to make a defense on his own power.
Even if he hadn't prevented the power gen dash, I think if he would have just stalled it even by sending the noise marines and the chaos lord over there to just mess with the strike squad a little bit and slow down the potential losing of those generators, that would have made a huge difference in getting this thing out, you know, even as much as a minute sooner.
Yeah, so I mean, it finally makes it here. It actually feels like a long time coming, considering at least he got to tier 2 early. It's just he lost his resource income once he got to tier 2.
Yeah, I mean it's a classic. I mean, I feel like most of us have been there once in a while, where we're trying to go fast tier 2. We have the smaller tier 1 army, and right after we hit that tier 2 button, we get a big push against us, and we lose our whole gen farm.
All right, Noise Marines, though, they're going to be absolutely ripping apart the Stormtroopers. They do retreat in time, but lose a few models in the process. Triple Strike Squad also can't actually do anything about the Blood Crusher, so this is still Dashy in retreat. Does make it to tier 2. What is his answer going to be about this Blood Crusher?
Yeah, I mean, he's in tier 2 now. He bought enough time to get himself back into it. He's still quite a distance off from a Dreadnought, so now if he loses his gen farm, I would say the advantage is once again Ravens. Ravens managed to hold out just long enough to make this a real fight. The generators are coming back down on his side of the map. VPs are getting capped, all 3 of them actually for him, so trying to really even out this victory point deficit. The Noise Marines are over here. They need to be careful because that triple smite is coming out and looking for them. Let's see if does he have a charge to knock these guys back? Not quite. Oh, but he does have the roar, which buys just enough time for the 3rd gen to go down. Probably the node as well. It's already quite low. Noise Marines get the full gen bash. The strike squad's out here. And it's looking like Raven might have this in his favor once again. Oh, he's going for the 2nd Blood Crusher.
2nd Blood Crusher. Meanwhile, we do have the answer coming in the form of the Purgation Squad with the Conversion Beamer, trying to set up so that the Blood Crusher is in its range. Has to move forward a little bit more, but it's still going to have to set up. And Raven should see this. Okay, that's the first shot.
Oh, Chaos
those
Lord
shots
is
will
going
take out
down.
the Blood Crusher. Can it get out of range?
It should be fine. The last shot should go down, but is there enough damage to finish it off? Nope, not quite. Alright, so the 2nd Blood Crusher is out. We need some worship, to say the least, to keep this Blood Crusher alive.
Yeah, but I mean, 2 Blood Crushers. Now you got to support that. You got to have the Heretics with the Blood Crushers now to support that.
No, I mean, I think if he gets those in there, there's just not much the Grey Knight can do about it at the moment. Since he did go for the Purgation Squad with the Conversion Beamer, he's sitting at plus 15 power right now and only 57 in the bank. There's not a lot of great anti-vehicle options he can get out here. The Triple Strike Squad is probably going to start falling off pretty severely at this point.
Raptors are also going to be coming in. This is actually a pretty good time for Raptors, but at the same time, it's also like, well, I was going to ask the question of like, but why not Bloodletters? But I think the mass suppression is probably the reason why.
Yeah, getting that suppression and also the champion on those Raptors makes them quite nasty, especially if these strike squads are just blobbing around.
All right, that was a little strange. I felt like the Blood Crusher actually just kind of walked into the firing arc of the Purgation, but the Purgation were just a little bit indecisive about what they wanted to do and reset up.
Yeah, it can be a tricky thing with setup teams sometimes when you see that sort of thing happen.
Wow, Blood Crusher already in melee with the Purgation. 2nd Blood Crusher is just going to be completely uncountered. It's actually amazing just how strong of a position this is for Raven. Raptors will jump in.
Oh my gosh, this is just going to be a slaughter. The smites go down, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, at this point in the game, come on, we're in tier 2. Can we just have an aspiring champion on the only Heretic squad?
So defiant.
Like, he won the fight, but he lost those Heretics.
Yeah, losing the Heretics is not insignificant when you're trying to support these vehicles. When they're the core of your army, you're really going to want something out here. Oh my gosh, we do have a Razorback coming out here. It's probably going to be a Laz Rhino if I were to guess.
Yeah, it absolutely has to be. It has to be a Laz Rhino, and that also does make things a little bit more questionable, as Raven doesn't actually have great answers to that, but, you know, it is great for him that he just killed that brother captain, who definitely gets hard countered by the Blood Crushers.
Yeah, 2 Blood Crushers. I mean, their attack speed is very high. So if you don't hit the retreat button when they're in your retreat path, even as you're just walking by them, they'll normally get 3, 4, 5 hits sometimes.
I love the way you'll see the Bloodletter on top when they're not attacking. They'll actually use that Hellblade as like to hit the demon dog.
Right, yeah, smacking it to jolt it forward here. All right, the Blood Crushers are jumping, or in the thick of it right now.
No las cannon on the Rhino yet.
No, the last cannon's not here. There's no worship for the Bloodletters either, so he does have to be careful. Here it comes. The upgrade is coming. He has to know it's coming. He's trying to pull the Bloodletters back. The full health Bloodletter, I think, should actually just engage the Rhino. Smites go down. I mean, that's the problem with the triple strike squads, is that none of this infantry can really hang because they're just going to get smoked down time and time again. The las cannon's activated. It's pointing the wrong direction, though. He didn't retarget it.
At it. I think it's going to get a shot.
No, he moved it at the last moment. It misfires, allowing the Blood Crusher to escape. The second one's still out here. There are some blood sacrifice Bloodletters out here, but the conversion beamer, along with those, with that las Rhino, is just going to be too much.
Oh no!
In case the strike squads weren't enough, we now have a tier 2 tank on the field. What do you say?
What happened?
Grey Knights happened.
That felt like, to me, I really felt like, all right, here's what I don't, at least one thing, it's probably not the only thing, but the heretics were not involved in any way there. Like, it's still like unworshipped Bloodletters. And I mean, it's the healing, it's also the speed. So I'm honestly not happy about seeing those Blood Crushers regularly unworshipped. I know that he wants to try to get map control, and sometimes that's a little bit of a conundrum when, you know, you're trying to get back map control, but some units, it's hard to break them off for a fight. And I honestly think Raven's suffering a lot by not having his heretics supporting his Blood Crushers.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. The Blastmaster is out here now, so it's set up. But these 3 strike squads are just so difficult to deal with. You'd think they'd start dropping off now, but they can still just smite down those raptors so hard. You can see that just nothing can stand against this. The Blastmaster getting some good shots in, but it can't really hold ground. There's just too much Grey Knights out here. Raven heading into tier 3, not far off from a Predator. But again, his gen farm is in some trouble here.
Yeah, this is looking like a full farm, but he's gonna try to answer it this time. He's finally actually using the worship, but it's only the Blood Crusher going in alone.
Yeah,
Nothing
the conversion beamer's back there. This is a bad idea.
Yeah,
I think it's just where are the Raptors? The Raptors went down? Yeah, they did go down. Oh dear.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh man. Welp. Here we are. I wouldn't entirely call it a hollow victory, but it's definitely a bit of a questionable one when you're spamming an ability that largely the entire community agrees isn't really balanced at all. We'll see if the Chaos Predator comes out here and can do anything in these final stages of the game, but it's a heavy workload over here to deal with this.
Yeah, I almost don't even feel like there's a whole lot left to commentate on here. Rhino gonna take a big shot though from that Blastmaster.
Trying to attack ground, firing it at maximum range over here. The Chaos Predator's coming out. The victory points are even, but Raven's going to have to sit on a small army for a long time before he starts getting back into this. He's up on requisition a little bit. Nice shot there. Almost took out the Razorback. Let's see if it's going to fire again.
Really
the Razorback hasn't moved. Oh no, he unset up. Okay, he's moving forward. Dashi being a little brazen, knowing that the Blastmaster's been firing shots into here. Let's see where he decides to fire this time.
Yeah, I don't know if Dashi maybe just thinks this game is over, which, I mean, in many ways it probably is, but I think I would still be repairing my Rhino. Oh, goodbye.
Ugh. Oh dear. Okay, let's see. Chaos Predator moving in, looking to get the kill on this Razorback. The conversion beamer's out here, but it is a downhill shot. Oh my gosh, what a void opens up in the middle of everything right here. The Predator under a lot of fire.
I don't know if it'll be enough, but
I don't know. This just killed 2 squads along with the Razorback. Let's see. Can the tank survive? It should be able to. There's not really any anti-vehicle power here. Dashy's down to just 2 strike squads. There's only 100 VPs left. The nuke could be the thing to bring him back into this game. He just has to be very careful with this tank.
Honestly, at this point, I'm not even sure. No, Dashy's not even trying to conserve his units. Like, he's literally not. Like, he's literally just thinking, I won this. Literally not even trying to conserve his units. I guess you could argue maybe he's trying to bait the Predator, but yeah.
Well, he's wrong if he thinks he's won this. He doesn't have an army left. The Heretics are running forward. They have to capture the map, but they also have to repair the tank. Brother Captain's out here with the hammer. He does have to be careful with the Predator. If the hammer gets a couple swings on this thing, he could take it out. Don't let it happen. Oh my gosh, the huge knockback, sending the Heretics flying. 61 VPs left, but the things are about to change. We've got a Purgation squad coming back out here. The Heretics aren't what you want moving forward against this Brother Captain. Raven buying more Heretics to get some repairs down. Brother Captain did fall, and Raven's back in it. Dashy getting a little too cocky for his own good, potentially throwing the game here. Get those nice throws ready if Raven wins this game, because Dashy had it in the bag.
This is, you know, especially now, I'm feeling like, all right, this is looking super suspect to me. Like, Dashy, like, is he really just throwing the game away like that?
That maybe, who knows? I mean, he was kind of just sitting in a pile, and that's what he's been doing most of these games. I mean, we can argue back and forth and speculate all we want, but it's a waste of time. We have to take the games for what they are. And, let's see, Chaos Lord's going to get the cap. Oh no, he bails out at the last moment. It doesn't matter, the VPs are stalled for the moment, and Raven has a superior army. He's got the tanks out, he's got a couple Heretic squads now, he's got the Blastmaster. He can hold ground a lot better than Dashy, and Dashy still never really rebuilt his power. He's just now dropped a generator, realizing how harrowing this is. And he's just going to drive the tank right up into his base. He's curious to see what's going on over here. I think realizing now that he's got nothing left, he's just going to park it in here and blast away at these. He's got to be a little careful with these silencers. They can ultimately take out the tank.
They're shooting anyway.
Yeah, we don't want the reverse throw here from Raven. All right.
The enemy has 200 points remaining.
So a triple cap in reverse here. Only silencers, only the Brother Captain. Dashy sitting on a lot of resource. Is he just waiting for another strike squad? Oh, he's getting another Razorback. Oh, the Razorback isn't going to be what it takes, I don't think. If this tank gets fully repaired, it's not going to be able to contend even with that las cannon with this tank. The Chaos Predator already level 4 now. Because I think it had probably fired on all of those units that had died in the nuke.
Yeah.
So it just got experience for every one of those kills.
Yeah, it's got a nice 931 health for a Predator that doesn't have the ability to get a health upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, this is a purely offensive Predator, and it is quite beefy.
So Corn Predator of all things as well. These days, I feel like the Corn Predator not super common, but just looking at the damage values of it.
Oh, he's got to be careful with this repair. He can't back the tank up if there's a squad behind it repairing it.
It's going to be Terminators. Just going to friendly fire his own heretics to death.
Yeah, oh dear. The Predator's coming. I don't know. People keep arguing suspect here. This just looks like the kind of play I would expect from this level of players. Piano says he'd smash this kid in 3 minutes. All right, winner has to fight Piano.
This is going to be a strange one to answer, but my guess, Max, is that whoever wins the Pornhub Premium probably gets some sort of redemption code that anyone can just redeem from their Pornhub account. A literal, serious answer to that question.
There you go.
All right, then. Enough Pornhub. Time for Dawn of War.
All right, here we go. On the bottom side, with his last chance to win the tournament, Raven as the Chaos Lord. Up north, Dashy as the brother captain. We are at 2-2 in this best of 5. That means this is the last match one way or another. Whoever wins takes it all. And we're going to see the same builds we've been seeing. As much as we're seeing like the same stuff that we've been seeing, it's been fairly different games every game so far. We've been seeing a mix of Dreadnoughts and Blood Crushers running the field. Different approaches from Raven trying to pick this apart. While Dashy's been sticking with the bread and butter of 2 strike squads along with the Smites coming off of that, the Banishments as it's officially called. But man, Chaos Lord just wrecking this map. No regard for the map makers, this guy.
Yeah, it's been pretty unwaveringly just the same builds out of these players.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it's the same openings, but the games have played out very differently every time. Again, we're seeing, this time Dashy responding a little bit to the variation that we see. So like this is what I'm talking about. Both players are playing each other a little bit here. We saw last game the Chaos Lord, Mr. Chows, running straight up to the power, knowing that Dashy was getting the second strike squad going for the early decap. This time, Dashy responds to that by getting the power node right away, delaying his second strike squad a little bit, and it looks like we're not even going for that. We've got the second IST coming in.
Wow. So we are going to see some variation from it. So, I don't know, maybe just wanting to do something different. I mean, it's weird. In a way, as silly as the strike squads have been, and as much as, just the instantly wiping the heretics have been, like, it hasn't been happening as often as I might expect. Raven has definitely been trying to at least play around it, even though he constantly volunteers himself into the multiple heretic builds and not getting the aspiring champions. So, I don't know, this is going to just finally be the time that Dashy actually just tries to throw him off. We'll see if it pays off without being able to just instantly nuke the heretic squads.
Yep, so the second power gen goes down. Power node gets repurchased. It did get bashed by the heretics. Brother Captain now over here battling the opposing heretics. Raven responding in time. And now with the 2 IST squads, this is where I would like to see the Comet Flame.
Yeah, as we see, they are just kind of kiting him around a little bit, certainly putting in a lot of damage on that Chaos Lord, forcing him to retreat there, so possibly looking to see if he can punish them with the Combi Flamer. Would happen, I mean, if he does decide to get that.
Raptors coming onto the field now here from Raven. Raven with just the single node, no gens yet. Meanwhile, 2 gens, or did the third go down? The third did go down over there for the Brother Captain, so we're going to be seeing a much quicker tier 2 than we have been from Dashy up to this point. Going a little later on the requisition here, not getting that second squad, getting the node up faster, and also holding one of the contested power here as well.
Unless he intends to get any further squads, which certainly is a possibility. We'll see. Raptor's going to be coming out on the field along with the Chaos Lord. They will probably find the Brother Captain soon. not quite their ideal target. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Strike Squad are going to be chasing after the Chaos Space Marines.
No, I wish
for
the
most
Raptors
part,
were over here on this engagement. If the Raptors were over here, this would be such an easy win. That said, it's still a
they'll
full
win it anyway.
rout.
Wow, they win that 2 squads to 3. Chaos Space Marines even at partial health, but I think just the positioning of the Stormtroopers kind of lent themselves to being engaged in melee by the Heretics.
No pressure on the gen farm here, surprisingly. I guess the Heretics are feeling they're a little too weak to try to get that gen bash in. Full gens now down for the Chaos player as well. So, all things looking kind of even up here. Raven is down on the victory points, but about to be sitting on a triple cap, at least for a quick moment here, so long as these Heretics manage to get the cap. They are quite low in the Imperial Stormtroopers. Yep, Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, rather. I keep saying Imperial. It's even longer than that.
Inquisitorial is such a mouthful of a word.
I know. Why you gotta make it such... Dawn of War, or 40K has such long-winded everything as it is, and they had to make one of the basic squads this long mouthful.
Yeah, that's why we call them ISTs.
Yeah, it's funny because I even get on the Warcraft 3 guys, because the Warcraft 3 casters use acronyms for literally everything in the game. It's like they're speaking in forum talk, and it's frustrating to me, and then I find myself over here like IST, IST, IST. But I think I get a... Inquisitorial is already bad enough on its own.
Yeah, that's more syllables than most squads have.
All right, so here we go. We're getting a full retreat again, and the Gen Bash is looking real over here. We got Heretics, we got Raptors, we got the big bad Mr. Choas himself over here, ready to hunt down some Stormtroopers again. And Dashy's heading into Tier 2. Raven's not going to be far behind. He can hit the button whenever he's ready, so long as he takes a moment to check out his resource income. And there we go.
That generator bash does not succeed in taking down any generators.
No, surprisingly enough. This is a map where the gens are literally within eyesight of the base. So it's actually quite difficult to get a bash on those natural gen farms on this map. I do wish they were a little bit further out on this map, but that's just kind of a characteristic of certain maps. Certain maps, it's much harder to get those gen bashes in.
And there's somewhat of a, there's a lot of damage between the Raptors and the Heretics, but I think there's something like of just the way the mechanics work, where there's only a certain amount of units or models that can actually stand around a generator, so they couldn't really just focus on one, I think. That's why
yeah, he should have split those up. And as it stands right now, Raptors jumping on Stormtroopers. Both squads of those have to retreat. Now there's just an injured squad of Strikes and the Brother Captain himself out here to contend with these Raptors. They are quite low, so they do have to get out of there. They might lose a model here on retreat. Let's see if they get a couple swings of those halberds in. Not quite.
This leaves the Strike Squad. Oh, there's going to be some support. Wow, Purifiers, of all things.
Okay, the Purifiers come out. The Strikes are quite injured. They have to retreat. I'm surprised we still haven't seen any aspiring champions. It seems like Raven's really averse to those in general. Blood Crusher is coming up here shortly. The Purifiers actually pretty okay against it. They do some pretty reasonable chip damage to it. I believe their hammer is heavy melee on that Justicar for them.
Purifiers are very, very interesting. I feel that I honestly see them very, very rarely. And I think part of the reason that they're somewhat rare is that in some ways I feel they're a little bit redundant with Strike Squad and Interceptors. Clearly they're not exactly the same. Clearly they're going to perform a little bit better. But it's not kind of like the drastic difference in functionality that you're going to get if you got like a Rhino or a Dreadnought or a Librarian instead.
I think they're a great answer to the Raptors, though. They've got 3 power melee weapons. They've got a heavy melee weapon. They've got a really long charge range as well, so it's really easy to get them into melee. But Purgation Squad coming out now as well, and this is we were talking about how everything has been the same builds, and now we're looking at a totally different game. We've got 1 Blood Crusher. We got no Dreadnoughts. Stormtroopers are out here as well. The Raptors jump in, and along with the Blood Crusher, there's not going to be an answer to this. This is just too much melee power. The smite comes down, it does next to nothing. It kills a few heretics, but they're going to continue the cap unopposed. 379 to 378, and Raven looking very strong this time around.
Looking to see if maybe they can get a little generator bash going on. We do have tier 2, and the conversion beamer is set up on that purgation. That purgation has... That firing arc looks so long to me. I'm not sure. It could just be, you know, like, just my eyes deceiving me, but to me it feels like it's longer than, like, regular setup teams. I have a feeling it's probably just the same.
I think it's about the same as the regular anti-vehicle setup, but it might be slightly longer.
I mean, the range on those setup teams is pretty long to begin with, so you need to be really careful when you have a Blood Crusher inside the firing arc and get it out pretty quickly. As we see that Blood Crusher still trying to make its way home.
Nice roar there, securing the retreat. I'd like to see something on this Chaos Lord. This Chaos Lord now probably needs a little something more to do with this dedicated melee. Did those heretics go down? No, they did manage to retreat with a couple models left. Ooh, and Purifier's going to have to retreat through some nasty melee themselves right here.
Might lose a model or two here.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
I mean, they've got 2,000 health. They are not a low health squad by any means. Okay. And this is a ranged pile here. This isn't what you want engaging with the Raptors. The Raptors seem defiant to want to jump there. No big knockback there from the Brother Captain and the Nemesis staff. And the Nemesis staff, is that the one that has the big knockback similar to the Chaos Lord's Maul, or is that, let's check.
No, that's going to be the Nemesis Demon Hammer.
Okay.
Gives the Demolishing Strike ability. This one grants Ward, which, I believe it's just like a damage resistance. Might be like 30% or something.
Gotcha. Okay, well, Raven's heading into Tier 3. No Bloodletters this time around. Has managed to keep all of his squads on the field. Both sides have, really, so it's still anyone's game. The VPs are still very close on top of all that. Raven, I feel like, is going to need to get some damage done here. Blood Crusher's still doing some good work, though, honestly. Like, the conversion beamer hasn't really been able to get set up in such a way that really scares it off. We do have the Rhino coming out this time, again. But this time the Las Rhino is so much later. I'm not sure it's going to have nearly the impact it did the first time we saw it. And we don't have the second Blood Crusher we did the first time the Las Rhino came out. It's a much quicker Tier 3. We also have the Raptors still in play.
I think it's going to kind of depend a little bit, like, kind of on the timing of the Rhino, when there's actually the next big fight, and if Raven's able to see if he can get out a big Tier 3 purchase in time. He is at a point where he's a little bit ways off from getting a Predator in terms of power income. Meanwhile, we are going to see the Blood Crusher just seemingly wiping the Purgation.
No, not
okay,
quite. Got a
the
special attack there. But this Razorback is not immune to all this melee. Look, it's already down to half health. The mace on those Raptors does really solid damage per swing on vehicles. It's pretty significant. The Heretics are going to go down in the melee pile over there. Oh man, nice flank by the Raptors, messing up the pathing a little bit. One more swing is all they need. It goes out of control, and the Las Rhino is down. Big moves there by Raven yet again. He threw away the Heretics, but he got the Las Rhino, which I think is everything he needed right there. He's not far from getting a tank onto the field, and against this kind of melee-based army of the Grey Knights, I don't think there's a lot that's going to be said about that Predator. Really, all that can contest it is the Purgation squad, and with both the Raptors and the Blood Crusher still online, it's looking rough. It's looking rough.
Yeah. Yeah, Predator's going to come out, and obviously the transport, the Rhino for the Heretic, definitely a trade in Raven's favor. Unfortunately, Chaos Lord is down now. So
yeah,
it's
that's one
rough.
thing. Raven kind of dropped Micro on a couple points there. He lost the Chaos Lord up north before that last engagement, and then obviously leaving the Heretics in that melee scuffle. It might have been enough to distract Dashi from microing his Razorback a little better, so maybe it was worth it in the long run. But That's just kind of the thing we've been seeing from Raven is he tends to lose things at like critical moments like this. Like this would be such a great time to have the Chaos Lord up and moving around the map and
Blood
harassing
pressure.
things.
Gotta be a little careful here. The Raptors are here to support. So
The
that
Raptors
does
are here to
nullify the
support. I do
purgation a bit.
believe it still has its charge as well, so it doesn't have to be too scared. A big knockback coming in, but the Raptors need to do something over here. Oh no, the blood pressure goes down. The Raptors do escape.
The Raptors don't jump on the purgation. That pretty much just means it's a kill on the blood crusher. I don't know if maybe at this point he's content to let the blood crusher go.
No, I think that was a big misplay. But the Predator is out here. Yeah, I mean having that second vehicle when there's only one anti-vehicle source and it's a setup team, I feel like the blood crusher is so scary. Oh no, don't move the Predator forward. The conversion beam is out here. It's looking for trouble. The Predator.
Can it get out of this
there
firing
we go.
arc? Just needs to move back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it can't even see it. The purgation squad can't see the full range.
Right, doesn't have sight.
Yeah, so. But still a triple cap against Raven. Raven not quite on top of his map control because he has been losing squads here and there suddenly. The Raptors lost their champion as well, so they're not nearly as effective. They are repurchasing that now.
Oh, meanwhile, this Chaos Lord just trying to get back the natural victory point. It does look like he will get it. The Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, oh, what a mouthful. Trying to DPS him down. They'll get him down to a little less than half, but he will get it. But at the same time, he'll probably just have to leave, and then once he leaves, they can get the victory point. He's going to chase after them. Well, what's going on in the middle? Bigger fight going on over there.
Yeah, that's what we're watching over here on the stream. I'm glad you were keeping us up with what was happening over there, though. The tank's pushing forward. Purifiers get pushed off. The Raptors managed to get on the Purification squad. And now, I mean, as I was saying, that's the only source of anti-vehicle out here. And this Corn Predator is otherwise just rocking the map. Dashi is now tier 3. Sitting on some pretty reasonable resource, but if the Predator knocks out these generators, this could be dicey. That said, he's got to be careful because that conversion beamer is getting ready to set up quite close to that Predator. It will be able to get 2, if not 3 shots off on that Pred, and at 650 health, let's see. Yeah, it's trying to get around the shot blocker.
I think it gets around. Nope.
He needs to keep backing up. Back up, get out of there. Okay, it is safe. Malignant Blindness goes down just to secure the escape.
I think Malignant Blindness used a little late there.
Yeah, probably so.
So he used Malignant Blindness. I was actually eyeing Raven's Red and looking at him and realizing he could use an Imperial Abyss. Obviously, although I was questioning it, he did technically get a lot of value out of it last game. If he also positions it well, he can use it specifically on the Purgation, and that can give him not only an engagement win, but possibly even the wipe on the Purgation.
Yeah, and this is another great map for it, because this retreat path, this retreat zone right here is quite the funnel. Okay, and the Purgation reveals itself again to the Raptors, and that's exactly where you don't want it to be. The melee forces are hiding around the corner over here, waiting for a time to approach, but again, with the Purgation pushed off, the tank can just bully these guys around as much as they want. Dashi's buying time.
Purifier is possibly looking for melee.
Oh, I don't think that's a good idea at all. Yeah, not with the Raptors hanging out over here as well.
I think even more importantly is just the Heretics, because the Heretics can just Doom Blast them, and then they just will get suppressed and they can't continue their chase.
That said, I mean, again, still, Dashi has the better map control. He's more aware. He's ready to spread his units out more commonly. He does have one more squad on the field than his opponent, Raven. 221 to 272, and despite Raven having the better field control... Oh no, the Heretics, I'm not sure he's paying attention.
Oh no, he really has lost track of them. All right, he's bringing the Predator up. They take a big fat chunk out of those Stormtroopers. But yeah, I mean, Raven actually hasn't had his own natural victory point for quite some time. And I think Dashi is pretty consistently playing better on the map control end, where even if he isn't winning engagements, he is kind of playing that passive-aggressive war. Terminators might go a long way to making that a lot harder for Dashi, but it's just something that Raven, he might just need to make some more decisive wins, get some squad wipes to kind of stem the bleeding here.
All right, so Chaos Terminators on the field. That's going to pretty much eliminate the opportunity for any sort of Chaos Abyss action, which is what won him his second victory in game number 4.
He's going for the Lightning Claws.
I could see that. I mean, the Lightning Claws are going to shut down these Purifiers pretty hard.
Oh, I think they're going to shut down just about everything.
All right, we're seeing that ward again, but those Purifiers, as great as they are, still will get kited by the tank. Where's that conversion beam? The conversion beam's set up, but the Raptors are ready for the jump.
Yeah,
Forces
Raptors there
the retreat.
doing what they need to do. Purifier is going to retreat because they know they can't stand up to the Lightning Claw Terminators.
No, they definitely cannot, especially being it already modeled down. The Raptors, there we go. Change targets. The Purifiers are so beefy, though, they can't be spared another model. Oh, no, the smite goes down, and the Heretics are going to fall.
Oh, no. He's going to have to just replace it at some point.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough squads on the field.
I wish he just had an aspiring champion.
Yeah, we've been saying it the whole series, is that it seems like Raven's just really averse to buying that aspiring champion.
It actually amazes me. I find, like, there have been times in the past when I've honestly just bought aspiring champions almost as just like a comfort upgrade because it's going to be so much easier to keep the squad alive with it.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with AoE options like this. And, oh my gosh, yeah, the strikes retreat, the victory points still ticking down, but about to change hands again. And, oh man, this conversion boy up here by himself, but the Raptors get a good jump on that. I'm not sure it'll be able to retreat in time. Heretics are getting repurchased. Oh my gosh, the Corn Predator might just be able to one-shot this conversion beamer. Let's see.
Oh, it's not taking a shot. In fact,
here
it's
it goes.
into
It
the
fires.
arc.
Oh, but it misfires. Oh no!
Actually,
turn your arm around. It does
retreats.
retreat, but the Paladins are here.
Paladins are going to be out on the field.
Oh my gosh!
That's the end of the Predator.
Oh no! A huge loss for Raven. The Predator goes down. It's what's been keeping him in the game here. Where are the Lightning Claw Terminators? Raptors have to jump out after losing their champion.
Bloodlust can actually win this, though, single-handedly. Bloodlust on the Terminators.
Yeah, they're going to do such insane damage right now. The Brother Captain has to be very careful here. Yeah, he realizes the predicament he's in. Huge chunks getting taken off of him. I'm not sure if there's a teleport available. It looks like he's not going to risk it with the Paladins on the field. But the Stormtroopers on the far side. And the Slingshot Terminators. Here we go. Corn Worship. That's what we need to be seeing more of. If you're missing out on map control, set up that Corn Worship between 2 victory points. Just run back and forth. You've got these big, meaty squads. Kill the weak.
What was that teleport?
Oh, I missed it. What happened?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the other side of the map. That's okay.
So victory points changing hands again. Raven finding himself on the wrong side of some of these engagements now. Finally, with that Predator going down, it could be pretty dicey. Yeah, I think he doesn't want to pursue the Terminators. I think he wants to get these Purifiers off the field first and then try to deal with the Librarians. Librarians now realizing that they're a bit outgunned. They teleport away. VP's, oh my gosh, he keeps getting the decap. The Strike Squad's just been constantly going over to the side and capping that natural VP of Raven.
Is the Brother Captain going to make it out alive? All right, he will. Yeah, I mean, Dashy has actually had so much control over Raven's natural victory point, and Raven has an army where, honestly, the Terminators are literally, like, running over everything. Anything that gets into melee with it either gets ripped apart or just has to disengage entirely, but Dashy's still just running around the map, keeping himself in the game that way, trying to buy time, I guess, to see if he can get anything else out on the field, but he's kind of pop-capped, pretty close to it, which is going to make it a little bit harder for him to continue to fight the Terminators in some way.
Now, I think if Raven can get a Predator back on the field at this point, that'll seal out the game for him. There's still not really any hard anti-vehicle on the field, with the exception of that Purgation Squad, which hasn't even been getting reinforced. Oh my gosh. Wait, what's going on?
This is intentional.
You think he's just throwing that away? So, yep, he wanted to get a Dreadnought. So he throws away.
I think that was intentional.
Yep, opens up the pop cap to buy himself a Dread. He wants...
Yeah, because his existing army literally couldn't... The only problem... Okay, he still has another ISD squad for repairs, is that... like, his existing army just couldn't really fight the Terminators that well. I was starting to think in my head, and then one of the observers even said, how come no Plasma on the ISD? Because that would do a little bit more damage against the Terminators, but honestly, I'm not even sure it would be enough. So this Dread, I'm wondering what it's going to be. Possibly a melee Dread. I feel like that
he's not
would
capping
make
his point
sense
back.
against
He's
the
not capping
Terminators.
his point back.
They are amongst the masses.
He's going for the cap up north, but there's so much
I think
up
these
here.
heretics just need to get out of here.
Yeah, they need to run
They'll just
right now.
instantly retreat.
The heretics.
Why isn't he
Okay, Chaos Lord is going to the other point. He just wanted to get his army in the center of the map, I guess. I think the Chaos Marines should be doing the capping here while the Raptors and Terminators get things done. The victory points are perilously low, though. It's getting back. I mean, it's been back and forth, honestly. It's neck and neck. It's 122 to 123 right now. There's a Dreadnought on the field. A Predator is coming out.
So it is going to be melee Dreadnought. That's kind of what it had to be. That's basically the answer to the Terminators for the most part.
Right. But the Predator coming out here is going to be kind of a countermeasure here. Let's see. He's getting the Mark of Siege immediately upon seeing that Dreadnought. It's almost completely upgraded now. And now the push will be redoubled here as the Predator comes forward, starts taking some shots at that Dreadnought. The Dreadnought's not going to be able to stand against this. And the Chaos Lord over here still unupgraded. Man, I wish the Chaos Lord had some lightning claws, honestly, because then that Strike Squad wouldn't be able to muscle around on that point. Has to be careful with the Predator. He needs to know the Conversion Beamer's out there
Conversion Beamer
somewhere.
is setting up.
Oh, it's actually
Where are
setting
the
up
Raptors?
quite forward. Malignant Blindness goes down again. The thing is, the Predator's still firing, so you will continue to have vision on that. Oh, it misses
Raptors
the
do
shot.
jump
The
in
Raptors
at the
move
right
in.
time.
But the Paladins are here. It's a lot of heavy melee on that tank. I'm not sure if it's going to survive. It looks like it will be able to kite back. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, the Raptors are in a lot of trouble. The Dreadnought's still up here. And I think that the engagement's just going a little bit better.
I mean, the Lightning Claw Terminators, I think they still come out on top of this in many ways. Oh, but with the Paladins and the Brother Captain coming back, it might just be a little too much for them, and they will teleport out of there.
All right, now the tank has to be careful. It has to try to do something to this Dreadnought to allow the Lightning Claws to get in here, but the Paladins are going to be too much for these Terminators. It needs to be
Terminators
very
are focusing
careful.
on the Brother Captain instead. They'll take him
Oh,
down.
wow, nice play. Takes out the Brother Captain instead. The tank, no, you need to retarget. You need to retarget. Oh, it's too scary. The Chaos Space Marines have to fall back.
Finishing off the Zinch Marines.
Oh, it's so tight. It could go any direction. There's no global repair for this tank, but it can continue to kite.
Paladins looking for the Zinch Marines. They don't get them.
They have to fall back. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this Dreadnought is still up here. Oh, you can see the Predator wants it now. He's going to get the shot.
Predator. Able to move forward.
Oh, vehicle-on-vehicle combat. Chaos Heretics need to get down here and fix up this Predator ASAP. The Strike Squad's down here again, trying to kill things, kill those VPs off.
Point is lost.
Paladins.
Another Heretic Squad.
Oh, I think that's fair. I mean, I don't know if it's the best use of his resources at this point.
I think what he's basically thinking at this time is that he wants one for repairs and one for capping, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. The Strike Squad finally gets routed before they get the cap this time around. Siege Marines level 4. Ooh, that's a nasty squad. I mean, if they get their champion on the Siege Boys.
So long.
Would you say?
This game has dragged on so long with all of this, the way the capping has been going on in this
Yeah,
game.
but it's such an awesome game. I'm into it. Stop. All right, Heretics. Yeah, and, finally an aspiring champion on this Heretic squad that's been used for capping. Kill the Weak goes down. Big buff for that Chaos Lord. But God, those Paladins
Oh, he's
do
dead.
so crazy much damage. Paladins teleport out. They're looking for trouble. The tank probably looking to intercept over there. Oh my gosh, what is the AoE over here? Because these Paladins are taking like no damage. They're finally starting to take some hits from these Lightning Claws, but they were holding their own there for quite a bit. The Siege Marines and the tank should be enough to rout off these Paladins on the far victory point, but the VPs are so low, 55 to 89, and there's even a Rhino over here to save the squads from the Lightning Claws.
That is very interesting. Late game Rhino doing that. These Paladins.
Oh, is that two Paladins down? Oh, these Paladins might just fall. So, although the
Do they have
Chaos
a
Marines
teleport?
in the middle,
I guess they don't.
they're going to get the decap and try to teleport out, I'm sure. Do they have a teleport
Terminators
available?
in the middle are going to be dead.
I don't think they do. Oh no, Terminators go down on both sides.
Oh man, the Lightning Claw Terminators actually, they did so much work for such a long time, but there's too much on their shoulders.
He needs to take out that Rhino before Las Cannon comes online. The Conversion Beamer is inside of it as well. The Rhino goes down. Will the Conversion Beamer get to set up? He's trying to force melee.
Or is melee with the Zinch Marines. What
10
are those,
victory
the
points
Purifiers
left.
chasing after them?
Oh my gosh, the Chaos Lord is here in the center. He's going to kill the weak after he gets that decap. Maybe not. Is he going to go down? He's not paying attention. Kill the weak comes in just in the nick of time. I thought he was going down. He can't get the point over here. Oh, is this an orbital?
What is this orbital
No,
gonna
he
do?
needs to get that
Oh
Chaos
my
Lord
God.
out of there.
It catches the Chaos Space Marines.
Oh, those Space Marines are toast. There's no way they're surviving. But can the Grey Knights get the cap over here? If they do, it's game over. I don't think the tank's even firing.
One of those units is on it. I think this just barely might be it because the ISTs can take it over.
Oh no, yep, the ISTs get the cap and that's the game. Dashy takes it just barely. Oh my gosh, what a final match. I feel like Raven had that so well and Dashy was more on top of the map throughout the entire game. Oh my goodness. Oh, Raven, you had it. You were so close, but at least you made it a good match. That was amazing. Whew. Dashy's gonna be the winner for this current Newcomer tournament.
Of course. This will be the last time I say it for today, but, you know, I enjoyed saying it that. He will be the one who will take home his 2-week subscription to Pornhub, in addition to the 15 euros.
Indeed, that high stakes first place prize. Congratulations to Dashy. What a final match. Oh man, that was good. That was good stuff. Oh, people in chat are pulling their hair out. They're like, "Oh, Raven, you had it." I think there was Raven was the crowd favorite here by not playing the Grey Knights and choosing a little bit on those first few games. But man, that was awesome. Good stuff. Show us the cat room. We don't have a cat. I have a dog. You want to see the dog? That can be the. Here we go. Oh, come here, Pooch. Look, here's the Pooch. Say hello. He's not into it. He's like, why am I up here? This is Apollo.
Trouble.
Yeah, he's trouble. He's blind. He only has one eye. You see, he doesn't have one over here. Alright. That's it for doggo time. We can have more doggo time during the week. For now, I wasn't really planning on streaming too much today. I got roped into it because Cretella's ISP let us all down. But either way, it was a good time. That was an awesome finals. I'm glad I got to come around for it. Thanks for coming out, Cretella.
Yeah, I don't know if there was any drama going on there, but, you know, that last game, the first game and the last game were my favorites. Both of those
Oh
were
yeah,
really good.
definitely. I mean, that, and like, you know, be accusations be damned. I feel like this kind of shows that once Dashy got out of his comfort zone, once he got out from under the cheese, he still managed to handle it. But I honestly, like, on paper, he lost that game. Luckily, unfortunately for Raven, Raven wasn't quite on top of his caps as well as he should have been. And didn't quite have some of the squad positioning he should have either. But Raven did a great job of picking apart the composition then.